What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And let's get into this podversation / reality chat. Now, we're going to be talking about and discussing Martell Holt and his regret, I call her, and what he now discusses as his 15%. The other person, I won't even say other woman, because she definitely, even though maybe the age of a woman, she is just extremely immature. And that is the person that they call coleslaw. Arionne Curry. Recently, Martell Holt was on a panel called Cheministry that came on Fox Soul, and the host of it, and the creator, I would say also, she said that she wanted to speak with people dealing with rejection. And to be honest with you, I found it a little bit ironic that she had Martell Holt on this panel for this discussion talking about dealing with rejection, because Martell Holt is definitely, in my opinion, a narcissist. And everything that I have seen that has described a narcissist and narcissistic tendencies and attitudes and actions have been portrayed by Martell Holt. He's made himself out to be the consummate victim in the marriage when he was the one that stepped out and did what he did, and did it for many years, and finally brought a child to life. Because the regret, the 15%, when she was interviewed by Tasha K, she came out and said that she had terminated several pregnancies by him. I'm not in the know of whether she chose to do it on her own, or if he said, hey, you know what you need to do, you need to go ahead and take care of that, or if he even knew that she had done these things, because they were not living together and he was still married to his wife and living as a married person, but just being extremely disrespectful to his spouse and to the mother of his then 3 but now 4 children. All right. So he has made himself out to be the victim, and I don't believe a word that he says when he says this line about his wife told him to go and get yourself a girlfriend. I am quite sure that if she ever uttered those words, it was in response to him making threats, saying, well, if you're not going to give me what I want and what I need, then I guess I'm going to have to go and get me a girlfriend. And she probably was like, well, if that's what you need to do, then go and get yourself a girlfriend. Not saying you can still be married to me and be in a relationship with someone else, and she can give you what you feel like you want and what you need, and we can just live life as a happy husband and wife, portraying that to the public, and in private we are miserable. I do not believe that for 1 second. So the fact that he said that on this panel and people believe that is just a crock of bull. I believe, in response to him making threats, made a comment like that, like, well, if you're going to go and get a girlfriend, then I guess that's what you're going to do, or just saying it in a sarcastic manner. But again, I'm not saying that you even make vile threats like that either. To say that, my response would be like, if you feel like you need a girlfriend, then we don't need to be together, and we can just go ahead and call it quits. And she did call his bluff, and she did what she had to do, and she moved on, and she's living literally her best life at this point, because she has gotten rid of the baggage and is done with him. And I'm so happy for it. So I'm going to play this part and see what he has to say about this.
Well, I guess some of the things that I mentioned earlier or whatnot, everything that I will discuss, it pertains to my marriage, because, I was married for quite some time, for 11, 12 years or whatnot. And, any rejection I really went through, it was pertaining to the marriage. And so a lot of the times that I would definitely say my ex-wife rejected me. Well, considering that, I was married for like 12 years, so some of the things I will discuss, it will pertain to, my previous marriage or whatnot. And there was a lot of rejection going on there. And I guess some of the ways we really can't dictate how we're going to retaliate. And one of my retaliations was, again, I spoke about it earlier, was me cheating. And I feel that, though cheating is wrong, but I feel that rejection that I was receiving, it seems as if I had no, ladies don't get mad, but it seemed like I had no other option but to be out, almost, because I felt that I had the discussion with her on things that she wasn't doing. It's not like I was a stay-at-home husband. No, I was the breadwinner within my marriage. I was like the dominant parent and things of that nature too.
See, okay, I have to pause it there because Martell is full of crap. He's making it sound as if he was married to someone who was a stay-at-home mom who just, I don't want to say just, because we know having children and taking care of them is no small job, especially if you have several of them. But he's making it seem like he was the only one that was out there working and paying the bills, and he was coming home to a woman who was just like Peggy Bundy. Okay, like, let's just be honest. He's pretty much trying to portray Melody Holt like she was Peggy Bundy, and he was Al from Married with Children, going to work and coming home to this loser who was just sitting on the TV, eating bonbons, watching Oprah, and when he comes home, she snatches whatever money he has in his pockets out of them, and she's just going shopping, and the house is a wreck. There's no food. Like, if you ever watch Married with Children, that is what it was. And I mean, the show was funny. I still love it to this day. It makes me laugh. But he's trying to make it seem like that's the type of household that he had, where he was out there slaving, just working hard. And he was coming home to this loser chick who was not taking care of the children, not cooking, not cleaning, not supportive, not loving him. They both were working. And it's clear that she was working her ass off because he didn't even have a builder's license. He used her brains, used her, for what she could do for him to solidify this power couple sort of lifestyle that they were trying to portray, when in actuality, not saying that he didn't do any of the work and he didn't have any involvement with what was going on in their business for the Holt and Holt homes and, the other things that they were doing. She was doing a lion's share of that. And it is not fair to a woman who is giving birth, having babies, taking care of house and home, and doing business and all of these different things, and then you want her to just drop to her knees and please you whenever you feel like it, and you were probably making her feel like crap. Because we all know, for the most part, most of us know that most narcissists, whether it is a man or a woman, they are not very supportive. They are not very loving. They make you feel like crap. They do not compliment you. They do not support you. And there wasn't as much as he could do that he was doing previously before the cameras were rolling and they were filming this show now, which has become a cult, situation, Love and Marriage Huntsville. So when she started bringing the situations up about the infidelity and cheating and those different types of things, he made it clear on the show, and we all saw it, where he was talking about, you don't discuss those things outside of our household. And she said, well, you should have kept your penis in the household. And I'm so glad that she did. I'm so glad that she had the bravery and the boldness to do that, because she got tired of suffering in silence. And I know a lot of people try to put the blame on her, and I'm definitely not one of these Melody stans or millimeters, the people that are just down for whatever when it comes to her. I can call right and wrong, and I don't stand for anybody, because I don't feel better than anyone. We all have a place in this world, and we all have, we all have greatness about ourselves. So I'm not going to bow down and worship anyone, but I can give people their flowers and I can give them their just due. And I do not believe that she was supported or respected in the marriage and in the household. So him sitting on this panel, making it seem like I was just working so hard and I was the dominant parent and I was the breadwinner and blah, 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 blah. I don't believe it for 1 minute. I believe that he, again, is making himself out to be the victim by stating the things that he's stating and saying it the way that he is saying it on this panel. Period. You're not Al Bundy. You're not married to we're not married to Peggy Bundy, the worst wife in the world who was just there to take, and not give, not support, not love, not take care of the household, not cook, not clean, not take care of the children. Like, come on, dude. You are not being honest.
But then, it's like you're not cooking and I can't have sex when I want it. And so that really pushed me out the door. But again, like I said earlier, I can't point the finger all at her. I have to look back at me of the reason that she was rejecting me. And
so I'm going to ask you, not to cut you off, but how long did you contemplate stepping out before you actually did it? Because that's not something that you decide in a moment's time. There were some things that transpired.
I'm so sorry, but it's crazy that you say that, because the first time that I met that particular person, it was the night that my ex-wife was supposed to go to me to a barbecue. We got into it that night. She was on a computer in the bed, and she made this statement to me. We got into it. She said, "Go out there and find your girlfriend." She said, I mentioned she was on the show, she admitted to it and all that, but she said, "Go out there and find your girlfriend," as she was up in the bed on her computer. And
bull crap. The whole stuff, Cheministry, she's like sitting there with this stunned, shocked look on her face. But the way, again, he is telling the story, and I know I wasn't there, I know it, but I, even not being there, can tell you of a surety that is not the way it went down. And I'm quite sure that if Melody chose to respond to it, she would say the same thing. I do not believe for 1 second that they just got into a little argument and she's sitting there working on her laptop on the bed and they were supposed to go to a barbecue and she just was like, "Go find you a girlfriend." That is not how it went down, and he knows that. I am quite sure that he was threatening it, and she, in response, in anger, because we know how we handle things. We know when people come to us with ridiculous comments like that, a lot of times the response is to say, well, hey, if that's what you're threatening to do, then go ahead and do that. It's not saying that you're giving this person permission to do it, or she's saying, well, you know what, baby, I'm just so tired and I'm so busy and I have my goals that I'm trying to reach and my things that I want to aspire to achieve. And because of that, I just don't have time to be a wife. But instead of getting divorced, why don't you just go out there and find yourself a girlfriend? He's trying to make it seem like that's how it went down. And we know that is not what it was. He is a liar. And most narcissists are. But, he's sitting up there with the clean suit on and it's crazy that you say that. But no, he's trying to... He has a product. He has this wine that he has created. And he knows that the majority of the market to buy his product is going to be women. So he's trying to appeal to the women and to the woman. So he wants to make it look like, look, I was the victim in this situation. I'm not this bad guy that she really tried to make me look like I was. And he is.
I'm like, wow. So honestly, that got into my spirit apparently, because that night I met the girl. I told her, I said, listen, I want you to be my girlfriend.
That's what you said?
I said, yeah. And I told her that night, I said, look, I want a girlfriend. And I told her XYZ.
Oh, you were married though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Okay, so we're going to pause it right there because that's what I really wanted to get to as well. He, even though he is a liar, because I don't believe it went down like that either. I believe that he came up to this chick. She was available, looking good to him for whatever reason. And he was just hard up and wanted to release some stress, and she was there for the releasing. And that's what it was. I don't believe he went up to her like this is freaking 1945 or 1955, 1960, 1975, and saying, I would love to court you and have you become my girlfriend. Like, it's bullcrap. He smashed on the same night, I'm quite sure. And I believe him when he said that was the person he chose to be with that day, but he had his wedding ring on. So Arionne Coleslaw, his regret, is a liar, because when she was interviewed by Tasha K asked her if she knew that he was married, and she said she did not know that he was married at first, but when she eventually found out, it was too late because feelings were involved and it's harder at that point or whatever. No, she's a liar. I knew then that she was lying about it. I really didn't believe that she didn't know that he was married. Not saying that he just walked up to her and said, listen, I'm married, and if you're okay with that, then we can do some things. And she said, well, I'm usually a wholesome woman, but okay. But I didn't believe her when she said it then. And I do believe that he did not present himself to be single to her based on what he shared to the crowd at this Cheministry panel event. So he was very much open and made it aware that he was married, and she lied to Tasha K about it. So all of the digs and all of the things that she has been saying and doing as of recent, which I'll probably just talk about that separately because I don't want this conversation/reality chat to go on for too much longer. But I will say that Martell Holt trying to make himself out to be the rejected and just didn't have any other alternative, and saying something must have gotten to my spirit that night because I went and did it. Like, no, dude, you just were disrespectful to your marriage, disrespectful to your now ex-wife, and now you're regretting it. And you've called the regret Coleslaw, Arionne Curry, what she really was. And I don't even believe she was 15%, because just basically you were just there to screw her whenever you felt like it, and she allowed you to. So that's why you continue to go back instead of having to find different random chicks all of the time, because he had been married, like he said, for 10, 11 years. So that wasn't something that he was doing all the time, which was just being out there in the streets and just hitting random chicks off. It was more comfortable for him to be with one person. So it's like, well, if this is just this other one person that I can continue to go back to and do the things that I really want to do to, and she will let me do to her, versus just finding random people all the time, then this is comfortable for me. Because again, it's all about me, the narcissist. It's all about what I want. It's not about what pleases my wife. It's not about what she's going through. And again, we all know that women having children is no easy job. And she is someone that has had 4 children and has shown to like get back to whatever she was doing previously. I don't even know how she does it. As a woman myself, I've only had 1 child in my lifetime, and I don't know how people do it over and over again. It never was my choice to do it, and I thank God that it didn't happen that way for me. But it is a lot. And sometimes you go through postpartum depression and you don't even know it. Sometimes you know you're going through something, but there's just not really much you can do because you have other children that you have to take care of. You have your household, you have your husband, you have your business, your job, or whatever. And we women, we put ourselves last. And I believe that Martell was putting her last as well, even though he wants to be portrayed as this amazing father who takes care of his children. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't want anyone to forsake or to dismiss or neglect their children as a man. But when you are married to someone and you neglect the mother of those children, it's almost as bad as neglecting the children, because most children, they want their mothers to be okay. There was a scene from the last season Martell and Melody, they had a picnic with the children. And the son, he said, I want my mommy to be happy. I miss, her laughing and smiling. And I don't think that was with Martell. I believe it was when they were just with their mother at one point. And it may have been when she was having like a therapy session with this one woman, and the son came out and said that. And that almost made me break down and cry, because it made me understand and visualize the times that she is in this household with the children, and she's trying to hold back tears, and she may not be able to hold it back. Or children can feel that thing. They can feel when their mothers are not in a good space, and they'll say, "What's wrong, mommy?" Or "Don't cry, mommy," or "Mommy, are you okay?" That is that's some heavy stuff. And I'm even trying not to shed tears right now just thinking about that. It's been a long time since I've had a little one. But I mean, I can remember moments when my son would see that I may not be having the best day or whatever, and he would just say, "Mommy, are you okay?" And I could see little Martell saying that to his mom, and not really understanding that I'm going through a lot of bullcrap right now with your daddy's sweetheart, but it's going to be okay. Mommy's going to be okay. So I don't believe that he was a very good husband to her. They did a lot of things for the sake of appearances and stuff like that, but he put this woman through a lot, and a lot of public shame. And I do believe that that is one of the reasons why so many women root for Melody and support her. And that's fine to do that. I don't have a problem with people rooting for her and supporting her. I support her and root for her and want her to win as well. And I'm happy that she is winning. I'm just not going to worship her, but I'm just saying, when women see stuff like that, there's some trauma bonding there, and they kind of see themselves possibly either have been capable of being in a position like that, maybe possibly have been in a position like that, or know someone who has been in a position like that, and it's not a good feeling. It's not a good space to be in. So for Martell to be on this panel talking about dealing with rejection when there's no discussion about how he has hurt and rejected his ex-wife, the relationship is done and over with at this point, and she's made her decision to move on, and I'm glad that she has. But she still, to this day, she has been trying to have a cordial relationship with this dude, because they share children and they will probably be in each other's lives for the rest of their lives. And you've got this other woman out here that now is attached to you forever, even though he does not want to be with her. He clearly does not want to be with this woman. And you have a child with this person. That's not a good feeling, because now her children are siblings with this other woman's child, and now my children have to have, in some way, shape, or form, some connection to this other woman, and it's not fair to them. It really is not. So Martell, screw you with the, I was rejected. It's bullcrap. If anyone has sense about themselves, they know that it didn't go down that way. Melody did not just, in a loving, sensible manner, tell her husband that I am not capable of giving you what you need, so please continue to be married to me and go and get yourself a girlfriend. It's bullcrap. It is. And the regret that he has a child with, and that has been the 15% that he rejected, the 85%, which I believe was probably way more than that, of his ex-wife, now Melody Cherie, it's his own fault. So I would never see him as a victim, ever. I would never support him in anything that he is doing in his business. I know how to forgive and move forward, but that doesn't mean that forgiveness comes with the reconciliation. Melody can choose to forgive this dude, but it doesn't mean she needs to reconcile with him. And so for those out there that were so excited to see her and him on vacation with the kids, thinking that this was some sort of makeup session and they were going to reconcile. I don't think that woman would ever do that. I believe she is a whole lot smarter than that to allow herself to get back into bondage ever again. Like the Bible says, be not entangled with the yoke of bondage again. Once you have been released, see yourself out forever. Forever. But yeah, Arionne Curry is a liar. She knew that Martell was married. I'm not saying she owed anything to Melody. Clearly she doesn't, but she clearly still doesn't even want to offer her any sort of respect because she has just been recently disrespectful to her, and it's just really nasty. I may talk about that separately, but you guys, you let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And again, this is Beth, and as always, I'm just being beautifully honest.